Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So I wasn't going to continue with these sentencing videos, but in researching and looking at the facts, I realized we still need to get the truth out there about what was done on January 6th and what the consequences were for these people, because even though Donald Trump pardoned them, that doesn't erase their crimes. It doesn't erase their convictions. It just means that they have been forgiven. So the conviction still stands. They were, still, as my understanding is, their crimes were still acknowledged by the Justice Department, by the courts. And so I'm going to continue putting out all of the rest of the sentencing videos that I hadn't gotten to before Donald Trump took office and pardoned these people. So keep in mind, as I share this information with you, this is someone who received a pardon. So 30-year-old Louisiana resident Cody Connell traveled to D.C. with his cousin Daniel Adams, and the prosecutor referred to these two as the tip of the spear because they were at the very front of this mob and the assaults on the police. And Adams appeared to plan for violence in the lead up to the attack. So on the 5th of January, Connell privately messaged someone on Facebook and he wrote, quote, "We got a backpack for food and supplies. Everything in downtown is already shut down. 2 flags, 3 pistols, and black hoodies, so we fit in if shit goes south." On January 6th, Connell and his cousin were seen climbing through the scaffolding that was set up by the staff for Biden's inauguration. And Connell posted a picture of he and his cousin on Snapchat with the caption, quote, "They tear gassing us." A short time later, Adams and Connell were at the front of a large mob. They were facing off against only about 7 officers. So obviously the police were very outnumbered. This mob was screaming at them. They were throwing things at the officers. They were spraying them with chemicals. Eventually, someone reached over a riot shield and sprayed an officer in the face with a chemical. Well, Connell's cousin repeatedly yelled, "Let's go," at that point. And then he and Connell rammed into the officers and started pushing against them. So the officers were overrun and they were forced to retreat. And Connell and the others charged towards the Capitol at that point. And then Connell and his cousin made their way to the front of the mob at the Senate wing doors. And an officer had, at that point, hit his cousin in the head with a baton. So Connell told the mob that he was going to kick the door in. However, other people had already climbed in. As you guys know, you've all seen the videos. They already climbed in through the broken windows and they kicked the doors open from the inside. So Connell was seen pulling the doors open all the way to allow, seemingly to allow the mob to stream inside. And then Connell himself was the 3rd person to enter the Senate wing doors as the alarms are going off. There's broken glass on the ground. They didn't stay inside for very long, though, he and his cousin. Connell was inside the Capitol for only about 3 to 4 minutes. And then after he and his cousin exited the building, they headed back down the exterior Capitol steps. And Connell pointed up to the Senate wing doors and he told a large mob that was waiting there, quote, "That door is open." And then after leaving the Capitol grounds, Connell boasted about his crimes on Facebook and all, in both public posts as well as private comments or private messages. So he wrote things like, quote, "We breached it to let America know we're not standing down anymore." Also, quote, "We were the first ones to breach the Capitol today. We got hit with tear gas, rubber bullets, and batons. You damn right we got their attention. That was the whole point of what we did today. And today was just the start of something much bigger." He also posted, quote, "Hell yeah, we're scared." He meant Congress people. They didn't expect a couple old Southern boys to get through all them damn police and knock the doors down. A revolution is coming. Also, quote, we pushed the cops against the wall. They dropped all their gear and left. That's when we went to door of Capitol building and breached it. And quote, barriers weren't just taken down. They didn't let us through. We got the shit beat out of, but eventually pushed through the cops. I was there. I was one of the first guys that breached the doors and got in. Antifa was not at the Capitol. BLM was not at the Capitol. They had cops with tear gas, flashbangs, rubber bullets, pepper spray. We got hit with all kinds of shit, but we kept pushing. We forces them to stand down. They had no other choice. They didn't just let us in the Capitol. Yeah, so admitting it, and this is one of the people that Trump pardoned. And Connell messaged with someone and talked about going back to DC and starting a revolution, and how he only left the Capitol because he didn't have protective gear with him. He also said, quote, I'm done not doing shit, and if it costs me my life, then so be it. I won't die a ducking sheep, bro. Obviously, spell correct, spell check. It'll be a few months before we go back, but when we do, we'll be prepared and we'll have the numbers with us too. And then Connell even made plans with others to purchase long rifles, ammunition, and body armor, and to return to DC for the inauguration on January 20th. And Connell told his acquaintances that he wasn't leaving DC that time, like if they go back, unless it was, quote, in a body bag. Yet when the police went, when Connell was arrested, or FBI, I should say, he willingly spoke with the FBI agents, and he claimed that he had no intention of going back to DC, and he didn't know anyone else who was planning to go back either. So Connell was arrested on January 16th of 2021, and he was charged with civil disorder, obstructing an official proceeding, assaulting officers, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, impeding passage on Capitol grounds, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol building. Connell refused a plea deal. He opted for a stipulated bench trial. And in July of 2023, Connell was convicted on all counts by the judge. However, because of the Supreme Court's asinine ruling about the obstruction charge, that conviction was dismissed. So Connell was looking at a combined 16 and a half years in prison, 23 years of probation, and over $700,000 in fines. But the prosecutor requested a sentence of only 51 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. And Connell has 3 previous arrests and 2 previous convictions. In 2016, he pleaded guilty to simple battery, and he was given 6 months suspended sentence. So apparently you can beat someone up, no prison, no jail. And in December of 2022, Connell took a plea for criminal damage to property. For that crime, he received a 3-month deferred sentence. So again, no time behind bars. Unfortunately, U.S. District Judge Paul Friedman presided over Connell's case, and he sentenced Connell to only 26 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and a $2,000 fine. This judge always handed out weak sentences for these January 6 cases, so I'm not surprised. And again, this guy was pardoned, so basically he got no time, spent no time, with maybe the exception of when he was first arrested. I don't know that he ever was put behind bars before Donald Trump stepped in and gave him a pardon. So, it's possible. I'd have to go back and look at the docket. But as of the time that I put all this information together and read through the sentencing memos and sentencing hearing and everything else, he had not spent any time behind bars. So after being sentenced, I should say. So anyway, yeah, there you go. One of Donald Trump's fine people. All right. If I hear any more about this great guy, I will let you know. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.